Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. I don't know why I'm just now having this revelation, but maybe a year ago, I read this article, and I want to say I'm not sure which news source it was. I'm not sure which, like, I think it was Time Magazine or Huffington Post. I cannot remember who it was, but I remember it being like a reputable magazine. And the subject was Tamir Rice's murderer, aka whatever the fuck the police officer's name was. I don't remember, nor do I really care. So I was reading this article maybe like a year ago, and I couldn't figure out at the time why this article was pissing me off. I didn't know why, but I just remember as the article was going on, I was getting more and more annoyed. And so it took me a year and some change to figure out why. And what it was so they were talking to this guy, and in the article they're just like, oh, this is, an average guy who has a family, who lives in, a moderate, home. He even lives among black people or some shit like that. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, they're just like, he just goes home and like, he has like dinner and blah, blah, blah. And so what was making me mad, I finally figured it out. What was making me mad was the fact that they were trying to humanize this gentleman. Now that sounds weird to say it, humanize, because he is a human being. But I think why it pissed me off was the fact that it was just like, oh, well, this was just an unfortunate series of events, and it just happened to a really bad time to a really good guy, and that was the vibe that I was getting from this article. So it made me mad, and I couldn't articulate why, because they were trying to make it just seem like this was just a unfortunate series of events. And it was, but he's alive and Tamir Rice isn't. So, and that's not the first situation, and it won't be the last, where they just try to make it seem like, this cop was just doing his job, and, killing a child is bad. Yeah, but it happens to the best of us. No, like that's not what it is. And it just, and the reason why I was thinking about it, because recently, Alton Sterling was killed, and on my Facebook feed, and I'm not even a subscriber, or I don't even follow Fox. I don't even know why the fuck it popped up on my screen. But there was like, I don't know how that happened, but anyways, Fox's Facebook or whatever was saying like, Alton Sterling has a history. He's a felon. He's a child molester, or whatever they said. And I just thought that was really weird that was posted in lieu of the fact that this man just passed. And in addition to the fact that it had nothing to do with anything. Like, why would you announce that? Like, why would you try to drag someone who's deceased? And I already know the answer to that. I'm just pointing it out. I just think it's very interesting in this country how a black man is demonized, and who did absolutely nothing. And this bozo who killed Tamir Rice is like, yeah, I'm an average guy, and shit happens. That's how I feel like that's how both their stories are told, and that shit pisses me off. And it just has been happening, and why is that Alton Sterling, who was minding his own business and his life was ended, why is that information about his past being brought up? Like what? Like, there's just so many things I want to talk about. And when I talk about this with like people, I don't know. I just don't have the energy to talk about this if you're not willing to like listen and have the conversation. I don't know. I'm starting to ramble, but I finally figured out. I think the catalyst for me is when I saw that on my feed, when I saw that Alton Sterling for Fox News decided to just bring up something that had nothing to do with nothing about this poor man. And then I remembered how the guy who killed Tamir Rice was like, portrayed as like a normal person, and that is don't know. This is exhausting. Like, this is so exhausting. I'm tired of waking up to this shit every morning. Anyways, all right, I'm done. Bye.